Each year, we ask the community about the top obstacles to things they want to achieve, and almost every year it is audit that strikes the most fear, dread, and frustration because of the special power they have to generate findings that are seen at the highest levels in the organization. I had mentioned yesterday that I was so happy that we had the Big Four audit panel in 2019, where we had representatives from each of the Big Four busting DevOps myths, who shared their convictions that DevOps is not only auditable and possible in their audit clients, but is actually necessary because they want their clients to still be around in 10 years. At the DevOps Enterprise Summit last year, one of my favorite sessions was from the audit team at Nationwide Insurance, which is based in the United States and is the largest insurance mutual company. They gave some amazing and very specific advice to people who work with audit, and they shared specific techniques on overcoming audit issues, especially concerning separation of duties and change approvals. So they'll be presenting again with part 2 of that presentation later in this conference. But because audit is something that every technology leader eventually faces, I asked if they would be willing to do a quick keynote mini lecture to give more general advice for anyone who has been frustrated dealing with audit. And I was so excited that they said yes. Clarissa Lucas is an IT audit director at Nationwide Insurance after spending years in auditing investments, finance, and credit. And Rusty Lewis is an IT auditor who joined Nationwide after spending years at PwC. They will continue to bust some commonly held beliefs about audit, some of which may genuinely surprise you. Here is Clarissa and Rusty.
Hello, and welcome to today's session. I'm Clarissa Lucas, and I'm here with my colleague, Rusty Lewis. We're both internal auditors at Nationwide Insurance. Oh no, not the auditors. What are they doing here? They don't care about DevOps or doing things differently. They like to stick to their checklists and do the same thing every year. They really enjoy writing us up for not segregating duties. I heard they even get paid by the finding. Gene, what were you thinking inviting the auditors here to ruin our fun? Don't worry, we've heard all of those things about our profession, ourselves, and our peers. And there's probably a few we haven't yet heard either. We know we aren't always sitting on the same side of the table, even though we do work for the same organization. At times, it might even seem like we're out to get you. Rusty and I want to explore some of these ideas with you to see if they're truths or just myths. After all, we are auditors, and what we wish every technology leader knew are a few truths about us and how we can work well together. And if those things that I said earlier are how you really feel about your auditor, like they're more of an adversary than a trusted advisor, we'll explore what that relationship could look like and how to influence getting there. Here are some of the things that we've heard about auditors. My favorite one is that auditors get paid by the finding. I've been auditing for nearly 10 years. During those years, I've spent time as an intern, an audit staff, project manager, leader, you name it, I've done it. And I can tell you that my paycheck has never been impacted by the number of issues I found. I honestly prefer to deliver reports that are sparkling clean. Delivering good news, like your control environment is really solid, is definitely my preference over delivering a report full of issues. Of course, if the gaps are there, we do want to shed light on that so that they can get addressed, but we truly prefer that there not be any gaps at all. So I think it's safe to say that this myth is officially busted.
Thanks, Clarissa. So to build a bit upon the first myth even more, some may also think that auditors are out to get you. But in all seriousness, we as auditors don't necessarily look any better just because we identify a control gap. Ultimately, we're trying to apply a fresh perspective. Now, if you'll humor me for a moment, I'd like to use an analogy. My wife loves to paint, and it's so often she'll spend hours trying to blend the right shade of color or capture that better sense of realism in a character or scenic background she's trying to portray. But once I have a chance to provide my perspective, someone who literally couldn't paint to save my life, I'm able to quickly point out what she couldn't otherwise see because she's so focused on that one area of the painting. Similarly, that's exactly what we're hoping to do with our clients, with technology leaders. During an audit, provide a fresh perspective, not with the hope or goal of catching something or saying, we got you, but partnering with you and providing a different lens for the landscape you may be in the weeds in every single day, with the goal to address something before it becomes an issue, or maybe help you identify industry best practices as it relates to mitigating a particular risk. I think it's safe to say this myth has also been officially busted.
All right, the next comment that we'll look into is that auditors just follow a checklist and do the same thing every year. In full transparency, I have heard of auditors using a checklist for certain audits. Earlier in my career, some of my colleagues used checklists when auditing bank branches. On the other hand, let's flash forward to today. Our chief auditor is so passionate about not falling victim to this pitfall that he passed out yellow penalty flags for us to quite literally throw out of the field. We can litter our office with penalty flags if necessary, if we find ourselves doing or being asked to do the same thing that we did the last time we did that audit. This is one as a profession that I think we need to keep working on. For now, it's unclear whether this will be our truth or just a thing of the past. We're definitely making progress, but we need your help. Help us by challenging what we're auditing. Ask us to explain our scope to you. Does it align with the risks that you're worried about? Does our testing approach seem reasonable? Are there ways we could improve our approach and add more value to you? For now, I think we'll mark this one as TBD, and we'll keep working to bust this myth together.
Now, the two items we haven't yet explored are that auditors don't want their findings to be a surprise, and that we want to partner with you. And perhaps contrary to popular belief, these are both true. During each of our audits, we strive to avoid surprises with our clients, because that ultimately will lead to more headaches and unnecessary contentious conversation. To accomplish this, we hold status meetings throughout each audit where we discuss potential findings as soon as they arise, rather than waiting until the end of the audit. This way, our clients know well in advance what to expect in the final audit report, and it also gives both sides a chance to discuss and better understand